And Jeff is teed up to make what next? What are you making next?
Very berry.
All right.
Very berry.
And what's in very berry?
Well, hang on now.
It's the anticipation.
All right, very berry. The recipe for very berry is in a 12-quart machine or half of a 24-quart machine, 33 ounces of guava. Guava. And blueberries. Blueberries.
So you're going to use the frozen ones?
What?
You're going to use the frozen ones?
Well, they're not frozen anymore.
Okay.
They were frozen when they came out of the freezer.
33 ounces of the fruit combined?
What's that?
The fruit, you said 33 ounces. Is that the fruit combined or is it different?
No, 33 ounces of guava.
Okay.
And half a pound of blueberries. But, you know, that's all subjective, right? Mm-hmm. You want more blueberries, you just add more blueberries. What we really hope to show you today is the simplicity of this and the adaptability. If Christy likes her product a little less sweet than mine, that's how she'll make it. I like my stuff to be sweeter. That's how I make it. Of course, the customer is the most important thing, but if you come to my ice cream store, we offer, say, 30 flavors at any given time, and they're sweet because I like sweet and I like a lot of flavor. Okay? Okay. Now, I'm a little perplexed. I think what we're going to do is make a slurry out of the guava and the blueberries in the Ninja. Okay? And to do that, we'll of course add a little cream to make everything happen. Okay? So we're going to add, how many quarts of this do we need?
5.
Okay. So we'll start with our 5 quarts. And then from that, we'll take a little bit and put it in the Ninja. I guess just a little will do it. And then we'll add the guava. Guava. Anybody know what guava is? We found out this morning that guava is a berry. A big berry. And then we'll throw the blueberries in too. You notice they leave when I'm up doing this, right? Just jump ship. All right, let's grind this up and see what happens. And we'll add the mix. You asked about rinsing the machine, and I did that.
Oh, it's okay. You just put water in there and just turn it on, or?
You got it.
Okay.
And now we'll add the cream to the machine.
Making a mess.
That's why the apron is on, so I can make a mess. Now we're going to add the stuff. And then we have to add brown sugar. Don't let me forget the brown sugar.
Right now, you just have that dasher on, it just makes it.
Correct. No refrigeration. I usually don't put the refrigeration on until I know exactly what I got. We're also going to add about 5 ounces of vanilla, and not the top of it. Brown sugar. Who said that? Right.
Question in the front. She said that you didn't add refrigeration. You stated
Who's
that
talking?
here. You stated you wanted to see what you had first. Are you saying?
Hang on,
that
I
you
can't
wanted-
hear you with the
Okay.
machine running. Hold on. Okay, what's your question?
So you stated that you wanted to wait until you see what you had until you added the refrigeration. Are you discussing the taste in it? You want to see how sweet or whatever have you.
Right.
Once you're happy with that, then that's when you want to move forward.
Right.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure I understood.
Dark brown sugar. What? Who said that? I don't know.
Oh, okay, so we're just guessing.
We're trying to figure out.
We'll have to do this by taste. That we're going to probably use around 4 ounces. And my knife is gone.
Can we get you a knife?
No, we should have a knife somewhere. Oh, I got it.
We're from the Bronx. We got lots of knives.
All right, 4 ounces. We'll start with 4 ounces. So what we want to do is put this on the scale and then tear it, which means, why isn't that zeroing it?
Because you're.
Okay. 4 ounces of brown sugar. And obviously that's weight, 4 ounces. This isn't working very well.
I'm going to get you a.
No, we're
spoon or
okay.
something?
No, I just had to open it more. I guess.
Okay.
What?
Nothing.
I love brown sugar in ice cream. I've worked with it quite a bit. So you'll be surprised on how well brown sugar works in ice cream.
The taste makes it different, or it's better than just like granulated sugar.
Well, don't forget it has molasses in it, so it'll taste that mapley, molassy flavor also.
And it depends on the flavor you're making too. I wouldn't just dump it in everything.
I've never made an Italian ice with brown sugar. It'd be interesting to try it. I've done honey, but the taste is so distinct that usually you're using it as an add-on. You know, we're making this and we're adding in a little brown sugar.
Okay, we'll fire it up. And hang on. Careful with this. Okay, so that's very berry. What else could you add to this?
Strawberries.
Strawberries. What else? Blackberries, raspberries, anything. The name of the ice cream is Very Berry. However, if you have a store and you're making this the third time, don't suddenly throw strawberries in when you haven't done that before, because the first customer who says, wait, this isn't what it was, this doesn't taste like it used to. So consistency, very important in a store when you're selling to regular customers as opposed to irregular customers. When you're selling to people who come in all the time, Steve says that he goes to where in New England?
Cape Cod.
Cape Cod, and he loves the mint chocolate chip in this one place, and he goes there every year on vacation. And if one year they decided to, even something subtle, you know, mint chocolate chip, you've seen it green, you've seen it white. Well, it's white there. If suddenly it were green, his perception would be they changed it, it's not the same. So be aware, that doesn't mean you can't improve on things. We've done that, but then that becomes the new norm.
And change is seen as cheapening. If you detect a change in an ice cream, you think, oh, they cheapened it up, they put something else in. The Breyers coffee, if it tastes different next year, they did cheapen it. You know, it couldn't get any worse. But that's usually what people think, so you don't want to do that. When Christy was talking about using 2 jars versus 3 of the Smuckers, when you're making a formula, write it down. Christy alluded to this. She said you don't need to spend 6 months coming up with a flavor. We get a lot of people say, I'm going to buy the machine a year in advance and experiment. And I say, why are you bothering? Concentrate on the store. Concentrate on getting the lease. Concentrate on designing the store. Because the ice cream's the easiest part. You can take any of our formulas or Jeff's formulas in his book or Christy's formula in her book and follow it, and it's going to be a great ice cream. But then the chef in you kicks in. You're going to add maybe a few more raspberries than Christy does, or a little less chocolate than Jeff does, or as much vanilla as I do.
No, that's for the
You'll
next.
tweak it. So a couple of things. When you're tweaking the formula, if you're playing with,
I'm gonna add a little.
oh, I think it needs more vanilla, write down your formula. This is real important. Don't do what I do. Write down your formula, label it, okay, experiment number 2, vanilla, and then put on the container, experiment number 2, vanilla. Because you're going to make 5 or 6 vanillas today trying to come up with just what you like. Oh my gosh, this is fantastic. What was it? You know, and you don't know what was in it. So you want to write that down. But just like in baking, I mean, if I open up Steve Thompson's House of Cakes, you like that? It used to be Steve Thompson's House of Toast, where you could have the toast buttered on the near side or the far side. So Steve Thompson, Steve Thompson's House of Cakes. I mean, how much can I change a lemon cake? It's going to have, if I add more water, it'll be soupy. If I add more flour, it'll be dry. If I add more lemon, there's a change. Okay. So 2 of the ingredients you really can't play with that much. Same thing when we talk about Italian ices. You can add more sugar to make it a Philadelphia water ice, or the normal proper amount of sugar to make it a New York style Italian ice. Hey. So there isn't that much you can change. Start with our formulas. They're free, and their books are not, but they're excellent. And that's where you can concentrate, and then you'll tweak it a little bit to yourself. It becomes your, I've got over 38,000 customers in 171 countries. I guarantee you all 38,000 have different vanilla ice cream. And so you just tweak it a little bit. You don't need to spend months and years. You do need to concentrate on getting the location that you're happy with. That's what really matters. This will take care of itself. You're seeing today how simple and easy it is. And then along the same line, as long as I've got the pulpit, you're going to call up in a couple of years and you're going to say, I bought a CB350. I need a 44-quart batch freezer. You know, the big guy, four tubs, the Haagen-Dazs stuff. And I say, no, you don't. How many hours a day are you running that? Oh, I'm running it, 12 hours a day. And I say, why do you stop at 12? Are you tired? No, I don't have any more freezer space. Okay, so what's your problem? Is it that the batch freezer is not big enough, or you need more freezer space? So I just lost myself a sale for this year because I pointed out you need more freezer space. Okay, you continue to grow. You've got more freezer space. You're working at 16 hours a day. You're exhausted. I need time off. Okay, I need a bigger machine so I can do it smaller. Granted, good idea. You want to buy a bigger machine? We'll sell you the 24. Or, because I don't want to spend your money, I can wait. Or you can hire more labor. I can't find labor, and besides, who can I trust to make my formulas? I mean, I have studied for years doing this. I said, no, you haven't. You took my class 2 years ago, and you're using Christie and Mike and Tie-Dye Jeff's formulas out of their books. What are you telling me? You studied this for years. And you called me up and said, what if I had an ounce more vanilla? And I said, go for it. So the problem I will have with you is only I can make my ice cream. Nobody else in the world can make my ice cream. If you're hiring a 17-year-old, you're probably correct. But if you go out and you go to the local police station and talk to the desk sergeant, or you go to the firehouse and talk to the captain and say, hey, I need to hire someone who can come in on the graveyard shift, 11 till 6, and make 70 gallons of ice cream for me while I go home and go to sleep. Wow, what a great idea. They're not doing anything. They've got the time off, and we underpay our police, fire, and I also include recently retired military. I don't include old geezers like myself, who would be retired from military. I'm talking about younger people who need the job. We don't pay the cops and firemen enough. They all have second jobs. My wife, Paula, who you may have met coming in, our office manager, her father was NYPD. He was on Long Island when he wasn't in New York City in the police department. He worked as a landscaper. Down here in Central Florida, we have this great propensity to fence everything in and turn it into gated communities. The firemen and the policemen all work putting up fencing. And you go and you hire one fireman and you actually get 3 because they don't always have the midnight shift off and they only have it once a month.
What exactly are you talking about?
How to expand the business.
Okay.
You ready?
I'm ready.
To be continued.
What?
How many minutes?
8. Don't write it down. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
And it won't be 8 in a half an hour.
Okay.
Ready, kid?
The consistency is so smooth of this ice cream. Once you all put it into the deep freezer and you keep it for a while, do you notice that it keeps the same consistency, or does it turn into almost like the hard scoop at some of the other places? Does that make sense?
The consistency won't change. It'll just get colder.
Okay.
If you put soup into the refrigerator, hot soup into the refrigerator, it'll get colder. If you put hot soup into the freezer, it'll freeze into a rock. So you're not changing the soup, you're only changing the temperature of it, not the consistency.
So if you wanted a harder texture, then you would need to modify your recipe?
No, the best way to get a harder texture is to turn down the speed with my infinite overrun control that nobody else has.
Got it, speed change.
Yeah,
Got
speed is, think of it this way. Am I interrupting you, Jeff?
No,
I don't want to do that.
no, you're fine.
Okay,
Speed changes
here we go.
your content.
I pour some heavy cream in here, and I stir it with a whisk. It remains heavy cream. But if I put heavy cream in here and I take an electric mixer, Jeff uses an electric drill with a paint bit on the end of it. It's great. Put that in there, boom, I've got whipped cream. It's all about the speed, and we're the only people that can do that. So by lowering the speed, we're
Mike.
lowering the weight of the product. We're making it heavier. You put a gallon in, you only get 1.25 gallons back. We're doing homemade ice cream. We put 1 gallon in, we get 2 gallons back. Because I know that when my employees go to scoop it, they're attacking the tub and they're compressing the ice cream. And so you think it's maximum overrun. No, it's not. It's 3/4 by the time the customer gets it.
What's the difference between machines that do soft serve? I know these are just hard batch.
That's a dirty word. We don't say that around here.
Okay.
Chris, do you want to take that?
I don't know the inner workings of a soft serve machine, but it's not ice cream. So by law, the FDA requires at least 10% butterfat to be called ice cream. That's why McDonald's, Dairy Queen, all those places are called soft serve, because their butterfat's 6%. So legally, it's not even ice cream. And it's like I don't really know the inner workings of it, but it's just stays in like.
Use that much butterfat for soft serve.
No, it's air. That's why it has no texture. There's no flavor. You can't do anything with it. You just have vanilla, chocolate, or swirl.
They use less
Boring.
flavor, and it's one at a time. The machine is sitting there 12 hours a day, turning itself on, turning itself off, beating the dairy product to death, and there's nobody in the store. You walk in, I want a soft serve. You pull down the handle and you take one. This is a batch freezer. I wrote an article called The Tater Tot Theorem. I'm baking tater tots. And when they're ready, I take the whole pan out at once. That's a batch of tater tots. This is a batch of ice cream or tater tots. We're taking all the tater tots out at once. That's a batch. If I leave that batch in the machine, those tater tots are continuing to cook in the batch oven. And so they started off just right, then they're a little more crispy, then they're brown, and then your house is on fire because you left it in the oven. When you bake, when you do a steak, you go according to time and you take the entire batch of steak out of the oven. A soft serve is you're just standing here pulling one crummy product out of it at a time. And it's either vanilla or chocolate because you can't put nuts, cookies, candies, or anything else into a soft ice cream machine. They're horribly expensive. They start at about $35,000, and they break 4 times a year at least. So, and they take an hour to clean. So you thought you closed at 10 o'clock tonight? No, you're there till 11 cleaning the soft serve machine.